Jacksonville. The Giants won the toss, elected to receive. Josh Scobie will kick off. Preston Parker is back deep for New York. We're all set for football here in Jacksonville. Parker from 5 yards deep will take a knee. Here comes Eli Manning. 163 consecutive starts. Coming off a week where he went 29 of 40 for 388, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception in the loss against the Dallas Cowboys. Much has been made about the new offense this year under new offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo and how much of a change it has been for Manning. Rashad Jennings starts in the backfield here on first down. Handoff to Jennings. Jennings up the middle, up to the 25. How about the key players on this side of the ball for New York?
And when you look at the New York offense, there's going to be a lot of attention paid to different amount of receivers, but this week it's been Odell Beckham Jr. He's second in the NFL right now amongst receivers in the month of November with 31 catches and 503 yards, and he is just flat out explosive.
As we were talking about before the game, he has that it factor. Second down and 5, play action. Manning with time. Comes near side to that man, Odell Beckham Jr. for the first down. A completion of 13 yards.
This is the way that they want to start on the offensive side of the ball. Nice little misdirection play action. Odell Beckham Jr. is able to get a clean break back to the football. Moves the chains on first down, and this is the tempo and the rhythm that this offense wants to have.
First and 10 at the 38. The reverse to Beckham, trying to get outside, and Odell Beckham Jr. will pick up 4 yards, tackled by Telvin Smith, the rookie out of Florida State. This Jacksonville defense, their front 4 is really impressive.
And the person that you need to watch today is Derek Marks. He is playing at a Pro Bowl level, completely disruptive in the backfield, and he is tied for 5th right now amongst defensive tackles with 5 sacks.
He's had a sack in 3 of the last 4 games. Beckham in motion here on 2nd and 6. Handoff Jennings. Trying to reverse fields. Jennings gets wrapped up for a big loss at the 31. Geno Hayes takes him down for a loss of 11.
The one thing in the zone scheme that you cannot have is penetration in the backfield. We're going to see Red Bryant there at the defensive end position, make a little spike move inside, is able to get into the backfield. And when you do that, you create no running lanes for a back to cut off of and actually get the play started.
So now it's 3rd and 17 for New York. Manning in the shotgun. Quickly out to Beckham, and Beckham gets stood up right away by Demetrius McCray.
After that big first down for the New York Giants offense, we've seen the Jacksonville Jaguars defense rise up, play good coverage. And like we said earlier, this front 4 for the Jacksonville Jaguars are disruptive, and they have a rotation of 9 D linemen that they will bring into a game, and they feel that they all bring a different aspect to that defensive line.
Steve Weatherford on to punt. Ace Sanders back at his own 25. Sanders at the 20. Sanders trying to get outside, gets corralled and tackled at the 30-yard line. A 47-yard punt, a 10-yard return. Blake Bortles will take over for Jacksonville. Odell Beckham, a couple catches on that opening drive. Back here in Jacksonville, first quarter, first possession for the Jaguars. Blake Bortles in the shotgun with Bernard Robinson in the backfield. Bortles throws, completes to Cecil Shorts. An 8-yard pickup on first down. Blake Bortles, the number 3 overall pick in the draft this past year, 15 interceptions. This is a guy who has been starting since week 4.
You notice right away this Jacksonville Jaguars offense is fast. They play up-tempo football. They get to the line of scrimmage. And in the great words of Ricky Bobby, I want to go fast.
Shake and bake. Speaking of shake and bake, there's Denard Robinson. And Robinson gets tackled. Picks up one. Jason Pierre-Paul with the tackle.
If you look at the offensive side of the ball, Denard Robinson, a former college quarterback, since he's taken over the starting job in the past 5 games, they've gone to the 7th most rushing yards in the NFL with 128, and he's averaging right now 4.7 yards a carry.
3rd and 1 here for the Jaguars. Marquise Lee in motion. Little toss to Robinson. Robinson reaching, and he's going to get tackled at the line of scrimmage. Stevie Brown comes up to make the play. So a 3-and-out forced by this New York defense.
Great play by Stevie Brown there, a veteran. Sees that the misdirection, isn't fooled, maintains his gap protection on that backside of the defense, and is able to run down that Robinson to maintain, so they cannot convert on that 3rd down.
Odell Beckham Jr. back to receive the punt at his own 10. Ryan Anger on to punt for Jacksonville. Beckham lets this one bounce. Takes a good Jacksonville bounce, and this will be down. Marked out of bounds inside the 10-yard line at the 9. A 52-yard punt for Anger. And the Giants have the ball.
Today's game is sponsored by Stella Artois. She is a thing of beauty.
The Giants take over at the 9-yard line. No score here, first quarter. On first down, the handoff to Jennings. Jennings keeps those legs churning. Picks up 6. Well, it doesn't get any bigger than this. This week, 4 of the nation's top teams face a must-win game to keep their championship hopes alive. It is the road to college football playoffs, and it goes through the Pac-12 championship and the Big Ten championship. Friday and Saturday only on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Second down and 4. Handoff again. Good cutback by Jennings. Up the middle to the 20. Picks up the first down. Josh Evans and J.T. Thomas III combine for the tackle. Rashad Jennings signed as a free agent in the offseason out of Oakland. Missed 4 weeks, weeks 7 through 10 with a knee injury, but he has come back last week. 19 carries, 52 yards, also 8 catches for 68 yards.
And I think that was one of the toughest losses during that stretch for the New York Giants. He brings that explosiveness and energy and that mentality that he is going to play downhill football.
Manning taking the shot down the sideline for Beckham. Out of reach, the coverage by Dwayne Gratz.
It's a nice defense by Gratz down at the bottom of the screen. He uses the boundary as another defender, makes sure that he is trying to make Odell Beckham Jr. round out his route. Anything to get him off balance and to try to disrupt that timing between him and Eli Manning.
Second down and 10, no huddle here for New York. Eli directing traffic. Handoff Jennings, looking for a lane. And Jennings will pick up 3. Jonathan Cyprien and Geno Hayes combine for the stop. So 3rd and 7 coming up here for New York. Again, this defense for Jacksonville got off to a great start last week against Indianapolis. But the offense couldn't take advantage here. They are a chance to force a punt once again for the Giants.
This defensive line can get pressure with just 4 and drop back 7 into coverage, so it's going to be interesting to see if they stick to that game plan today.
On 3rd and 7, Manning with time. Throws to his tight end, Larry Donnell, for the first down. A 15-yard completion to Donnell.
Larry Donnell is just going to run a square route outside. And this is what they want to do and why the tight end is so important in this offense. They'll line him up at his normal position. They'll put him in the backfield. They're just trying to create mismatches with Larry Donnell's size.
And how about the time the offensive line gave Manning on that play? Andre Williams now in a tailback for the first time. He takes the handoff. Williams bounces off one would-be tackler, brings it up to the 40, picks up 3. Ziggy Hurd finally brings him down. That's what people kind of expected out of Andre Williams, who could take a hit and keep on going. A guy who rushed for over 2,100 yards, almost 2,200 last year at Boston College.
They say that he is just a quiet, confident player, continues to move his legs and push piles. Right now, he's second in the NFC amongst rookies with five rushing touchdowns.
They swing it out to Beckham. And Beckham up to the 45. Gets 5. Time for a game break. Let's check in back in L.A. with Kurt Menefee.
All right, Minnesota on the scoreboard first against Carolina. Teddy Bridgewater rolling out, finding Kyle Rudolph. 4-yard score. Minnesota up 7-0. Justin and David, everybody there jealous of you guys. Wind chill 7 below 0 at the start of that.
It's funny, Kurt. I think the wind chill here is about 75 degrees.
I'd be sweating in that wind chill anyways.
On 3rd and short, Manning goes outside to Preston Parker for the first down. A couple of 3rd down conversions here on this drive for New York.
Nice conversion on that 3rd down. They had at the top of the screen, they had the pick and rub. He was able to get open and continue to move the chains, but I like what the New York Giants are doing right now. They're establishing the run game. They're getting this offensive line comfortable and confident in themselves, which is going to in turn lead to big plays throughout play action.
On 1st and 10, delayed handoff to Shaw Jennings. Jennings up to the 49 of Jacksonville, picks up 2. Telvin Smith with his 2nd tackle of the day. We talked about the injuries for this Giants team, and there is a player down on the field. It is Jeff Schwartz, number 74 for New York, already playing without Justin Pugh, who is inactive today, scratched. So we'll have more on this when we come back. Back here in Jacksonville, we talked about the injuries this year for New York. Now Jeff Schwartz, who is starting at right tackle in place of Justin Pugh, who is inactive. And Jeff Schwartz, I mean, there's nobody better to talk about offensive line injuries than you, David Deal.
You just see him here at the end of the play, number 74, just get rolled up. He's trying to finish his block. The pile continues to push. John Jerry and the rest of the group fall on the back of his legs. And, you know, that's something that the Giants definitely did not want to have happen with all the adjustments and combinations they've had on that offensive line.
So Schwartz has to be carted off. James Brewer will come in to play right tackle. An offensive line that has struggled already on the season, like you mentioned, all these different combinations. Now losing Schwartz here early in this one, 5:23 to go in the 1st quarter. And about the injuries, I mean, speaking with Antrell Roll yesterday, he said this has been one of the more frustrating seasons because there have been so many injuries that we haven't been able to get into any type of rhythm.
It's hard to get that continuity when you're not next to the same person all the time. The communication, the timing, you know, as an offensive lineman, you know, the timing of your blocks and your combinations are no different than a quarterback and a wide receiver, and it takes time and practice to work on those techniques together.
2nd down and 8. Brewer now in at right tackle. Handoff, Jennings with a good run, pushes forward, very close to that 1st down marker. Telvin Smith with the stop, and it will be a 1st down.
Nice block by Daniel Fells, stepping up in there, leading it up. Offensive line were able to get to the 2nd level, but as I stated earlier, just give him a crease, give him a running lane with no penetration in the backfield, and he's going to get yards.
Daniel Fells in motion. Play action. Manning with time. Comes near side to Beckham, who comes back to make the catch. and stiff arm out of bounds. Looks like he's about a yard shy of that first down marker.
Nice protection by the offensive line, but Odell Beckham Jr. is able to come back to the football. That player to the sidelines when you have a scramble is always the one who comes back to the football.
Giants trying to go hurry up with a handoff to Jennings. And Jennings gets stuffed by J.T. Thomas. 3rd and 1 coming up.
This is something that the Giants have actually done a fantastic job of in the short yardage situations. They've converted 70% on 3rd and 3 or less.
3rd and 1. Handoff Jennings. Jennings gets that yard that he needed across the 30. Another 3rd down conversion here on this drive as Andre Branch makes the tackle. This is the 3rd down conversion on this drive. Ben McAdoo in his first year as the offensive coordinator with the Giants. A huge change offensively for New York.
Complete different style, complete different tempo to the football game. All the adjustments and audibles that are taking place at the line of scrimmage. But it was exciting talking to him yesterday in the meeting and hearing his perspective on the offensive play.
False start here against New York. Our referee today is Craig Rolstad.
False start, offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's against James Brewer, who came in for Jeff Schwartz. We just got word that Schwartz will be out the rest of the game with an ankle sprain. 3 minutes to go here in this first quarter. 1st and 15 for New York, marching down the field against Jacksonville. The Giants have lost 6 in a row. Manning in the shotgun. Manning on the slant. Completes the pass to Kevin Ogletree. A 13-yard completion on 1st and 15. That's big for New York.
Preston Parker took the outside route. He took the inside, was able to hit him on a quick slant. Here we go. Here come the Giants back to the line of scrimmage with the up-tempo offense.
This the 15th play of the drive, the longest drive of the season for the Giants. On 2nd and 2, handoff Jennings. Jennings has the first down, and he is across the 15, marked down at the 13. Jonathan Cyprien with a tackle, but an 8-yard run by Jennings. What are you seeing right now from the offensive line?
There's a nice double team right at the point of attack by John Jerry and J.D. Walton, number 55 and 77. They're able to get up to the 2nd level. You see Larry Donnell able to get into it. That's what they need to have, that continued push and to take advantage of at the line of scrimmage.
Jennings again on the carry. And Jennings brings it up to the 6. Josh Evans with a stop, a 7-yard run on 1st down. You hear so often, basically every team you ever speak to, what's the key to the game? Establish the run, establish the run. On this drive, they're establishing the run.
They most certainly are. And look at how effectively they're moving the football.
Preston Parker in motion. Jennings again, cuts it back. And Jennings gets tackled at the 5. Chris Clemens, Jonathan Cyprien. So 3rd down and 2 coming up. The red zone defense for the Jaguars this year has been fantastic. The Giants trying for their 4th 3rd down conversion on this drive alone. 3rd and 2. Jennings. He keeps those feet moving. He's got the first down. 1st and goal coming up from the 2.
It's a nice surge up front by the Giants offense. Just continuing to push the pile to get those extra yards in the 1st down. They said right away that one of the things they wanted to do by going up tempo like they are, the Jaguars can't rotate their 9 defensive linemen like they would like to.
That's the end of the first quarter. No score here in Jacksonville. But the Giants right on the doorstep. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after this. All Giants in that first quarter thanks to a almost 10-minute drive right now. First and goal from the 2. Jennings on the carry. Jennings to the end zone. Touchdown. The second effort again for Rashad Jennings leads to his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year.
Nice run at the goal line there. Jennings just has the toughness, the durability, just to continue to fight through the missed tackles of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's pure determination right there to score that touchdown.
There's a player down right now for Jacksonville. The extra point coming up after this. The famed Island Green at the 17th hole, TPC Sawgrass. Leroy Reynolds, the player injured. He got off the field under his own power. Josh Brown on for the extra point. And the Giants, thanks to a drive you don't see very often. 19 plays, 91 yards, 9 minutes and 51 seconds, capped off by a 2-yard touchdown run by Rashad Jennings. 19 plays, 9:51. That's an old school type of drive. How about this? 8 first downs on that one drive.
That's what you want to do as an offense, plain and simple. Control the line of scrimmage, control the time of possession. Now let's see if this Giants defense can rise up and use that time rested to their advantage.
Josh Brown kicking off, Jordan Todman in the end zone. He's going to run this one out from 5 yards deep. And Todman gets bottled up at the 16-yard line. Well, tonight, guess who's back in the Brooklyn Nine-Nine? It's Eva Longoria, and she's about to heat things up on an all-new episode, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Sunday after The Simpsons right here on Fox. I know you're a fan of that show.
Andy Samberg, I think it's hilarious.
Well, Blake Bortles, he's like, wait, I haven't been on the field in what seems like forever.
Well, he hasn't. They've only had the ball for 2 minutes during this game.
Denard Robinson, he was in there in a false start. Robinson was in there at quarterback.
False start. Offense. Number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Zane Beadle's call for the false start. This Jacksonville offense has to go up against this New York Giants defense. And who needs to step up for New York?
I think that JPP needs to step up in this football game. He has got to find some way to create pressure. Going up against Luke Jokel 2 years ago, their #2 draft pick overall. And that last package, if people noticed, Denard Robinson was in there at the Wildcat.
On 1st and 15, Bortles pump fake. Throws incomplete. Was looking for Cecil Shorts. He had him open. Just overthrew him a bit.
They were able to protect, hold up for Blake Bortles. He was trying to get that ball downfield just a little too far, overthrown.
Second down and 15. Jacksonville backed up. Bortles swings it out to Robinson, who drops it. 3rd and 15 coming up. Time for a game break. Let's check back in with Kurt in L.A.
Well, how about this? Adam Thielen of the Vikings breaks through, blocks the punt, scoops it up, and scores a 30-yard touchdown. That's the first time a Viking has blocked the punt and scored a touchdown since 1986. They're up 14-3 at the end of the first. Justin and David.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Toby Gerhart into the game for the first time. Going empty backfield is Jacksonville.
One person to look for is Cecil Short right now. He's a guy in these 3rd and long positions that they running those quick slants, screens to him to get that ball stretched.
Bortles had it tipped at the line of scrimmage. And the second straight 3-and-out forced by the Giants defense.
DeMontre Moore was able to get some penetration and get that hand up. You know, they always say as a defensive lineman, if you can't get there, if you can't get home, stop, get your eyes to the quarterback, and get that pass defense.
Brian Anger to punts. Beckham waits for this one at the 42. Beckham gets tripped up at the 46-yard line, a 47-yard punt. The New York Giants had that 91-yard drive for a touchdown. They lead 7-0. Giants taking over at the 46-yard line. 13 minutes and 4 seconds. Time of possession. Plenty of time here, setting up the screen for Williams. Williams all the way up to the 36-yard line of Jacksonville. An 18-yard screenplay. Grotz and Thomas combine for the stop.
Nice play designed by Ben McAdoo, the offensive coordinator for the Giants. Does a great job of using Odell Beckham Jr. as just a disguise. Yep. He ran like he was going to run a reverse. That defense completely stopped, got their eyes to him. They were able to hit that screen to Williams.
And off to Williams. And Williams picks up a yard, sent backwards by Chris Clemens.
Chris Clemens is a football player. I remember his rookie year as an undrafted free agent with the Philadelphia Eagles. We went into that game and we were like, this guy's better than the guys they drafted.
Second down and 9. Manning over the middle to Donnell. Donnell tripped up at the 5, goes down at the 3. Beautiful play, 31 yards for New York.
This is where the play action comes into play after getting the run game going. The little fake dive inside to Williams. You see Telvin Smith and the rest of the defense step up. They hit Larry Donnell right down the seam. They're able to move it back down into the goal line area.
First and goal from the 3 here for the Giants. It's Williams. Williams trying to bounce it out. Can't. It's wrapped up by Cyprien. Eli Manning, look at this. I mean, again, 2 3-and-outs for the Jacksonville offense. Manning already with more pass attempts than Jacksonville has total yards.
They've completely controlled the time of possession by getting the run game going and getting this offense comfortable.
There was a penalty against Jacksonville, so it's going to be first and goal from the 1 as there were 12 men on the field for the Jaguars. So first and goal from the 1 for New York, leading 7-0. The first drive it was Jones, this drive it's Williams. And a flag before the play. False start against New York.
False start. Offense. Number 61. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's Dallas Reynolds in there as the jumbo tight end down in this goal line package.
Well, he was in there. After that penalty, he's not anymore.
That's one quick way for Coach Coughlin to take you off of the football field. Penalties and mental errors.
First and goal, now from the 6. Beckham split out. Now he's in motion. Manning rolling out to his right. Throws behind Williams, who can't hang on to it.
Once again, using Odell Beckham as a disguise. Faking the reverse around. Seeing if they can open up things in this offense and in the passing lanes.
Beckham this time lined up on the near side. Already 4 catches on the day. Bottom of your screen is Odell Beckham. Donnell in motion. Play clock down to 4. Manning just gets it off. Hands off to Williams. Williams, a nice cutback. Gets tripped up, marked down at the 4. Josh Evans with that touchdown saving tackle against Donnell, able to trip up Williams.
This is where that penalty hurts you.
Yep.
Because if you were able to get that ball to where they were on the 4-yard line, that's a touchdown right there.
Not to mention it had come just after the penalty to Jacksonville, which gave you 1st and goal from the 1. 3rd and goal. The fans here in Jacksonville trying to make some noise. Manning pumps. Manning over the middle. Touchdown. A flag on the play. Caught by Preston Parker. Waiting to see if this will, in fact, stand as a touchdown.
Holding. Defense, number 52. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
2nd touchdown of the year for Preston Parker.
Preston Parker is right here at that tight end position. He's going to go one-on-ones against J.T. Thomas. That is a mismatch that they want to have. A wide receiver against a linebacker. Clearly has the pass interference by hugging him. Preston Parker is still able to fight through and get that touchdown.
Josh Brown on for the extra point. Back-to-back touchdown drives by New York. 14-0. Parker with his 2nd touchdown catch of the year. Giants on top. All Giants here in Jacksonville. 14-0 over the Jaguars. Preston Parker with a touchdown catch on the last drive. And this was really important for New York to come out here today and get a lead. Get some confidence after losing 6 in a row.
And that was something that everybody we talked to, from coach to Antrell Roll to Eli Manning, they said for this football game, they need to start fast. They got to get on top early and get that confidence right away.
A short kick. Jordan Todman takes it at the 8. Todman spins away. Gets across the 20 up to the 23-yard line. The offense for Jacksonville hoping to do something after back-to-back 3-and-outs, trailing by 14. Gus Bradley in his 2nd year with Jacksonville as the head coach. His team trails by 14 here in the 2nd quarter. Justin Kutcher alongside David Deal and Laura Oakman. Bortles in the shotgun. Robinson in the backfield. Handoff is to Robinson. And Denard Robinson gets a yard. Mike Patterson there with the tackle. How about Gus Bradley? Here in his 2nd year, such a young team, the youngest team in the NFL.
I really enjoyed my time with him on Friday. He said youth is not an excuse for us, and his determination and his mentality of motivating these young players, and even though they're playing for the future, he goes, we are looking to make victories every single day. And even though our record hasn't shown it, our team has gotten better. We play hard, we play tough. And I'll tell you, at Friday practice, when you were watching those guys practice and play and run around, they were not practicing like a 1-10 team. They are into it, and they are definitely looking towards the future to grow off of these young players.
A sack by Stevie Brown, a loss of 6. The offensive line also so young. They've struggled, allowing 44 sacks on the season. Toby Gerhart now in on 3rd and 15. Bortles escapes. Bortles throws, and it is incomplete. Allen Hurns takes a big hit. Hurns, the undrafted rookie out of Miami.
Giants showing blitz, but they only rush 3. They drop back in coverage. The offensive line is able to hold up enough. But this is Blake Bortles. He is an athlete. He is able to move in the pocket and deliver that.
It was a clean hit. Hurns is shaken up. 4th and 15 coming up. Allen Hurns walked off the field being checked out on the sideline. Brian Anger on to punt, the 3rd straight 3-and-out for the Jacksonville offense. Beckham, fair catch made at the 42-yard line. Former UFC heavyweight champion Junior Dos Santos takes on 4th-ranked Stipe Miocic in what should be an epic bout. A full weekend of UFC action begins Friday, December 12th with the Ultimate Fighter finale on Fox Sports 1, where a champion will be crowned and continues Saturday, December 13th with UFC Fight Night on Fox. Well, if this is not total domination by the Giants, I don't know what is.
The way that they've been effectively control the line of scrimmage, run the football, get play action going. It's no surprise they've had 16 minutes time of possession.
On first down, handoff to Rashad Jennings. And Jennings gets a yard. The undrafted free agent rookie Allen Hurns walking into the locker room. This Jacksonville team had a good receiving tandem for rookies with Allen Robinson and Hurns, but Robinson, he's on the IR, broke his foot against Dallas Week 10 in London, and now Hurns going to the locker room. They can't afford to have any more guys go down offensively.
The one thing, when you watch him on film, he's got 9 catches and 20+ yards. You wonder how this guy went undrafted.
Beckham slips a tackle, makes a move. Odell Beckham Jr. all the way across the 35. 29 yards for Beckham.
He's inside of Preston Parker here, who's just going to cause a natural pick by just staying there. Odell Beckham Jr. shows his ability of yards after carry, just the explosiveness, his ability to keep his eyes downfield and find those open creases and lanes to make explosive plays.
5 catches, 59 yards for Beckham Jr. And now he goes to the bench. Remember, he had a slight back injury last week against Dallas. Rashad Jennings in at tailback. Jennings, look at the patience. Up to the 29. Beckham being tended to now. Second down and 6 for the Giants. Rashad Jennings already 16 carries here in the first half. Delayed handoff to Jennings again. Jennings trying to break out of the tackle. He can't. J.T. Thomas there to wrap him up. Let's see if we can see what happened to Odell Beckham Jr.
At the end of the plays, does a nice job of, like I said, continuing getting the yards after carry, but just looks like he falls funny on his back and on Telvin Smith.
Third and 6. Manning on the slant, completes to Kevin Ogletree for the first down. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA. Check in with Joel Klatt for the first time.
All right, Justin, let's go up to Minnesota, frigid Minnesota. Jasper Brinkley blocks the punt, recovered by Everson Griffin, returned at 43 yards for a TD. That's their second block punt return for a touchdown of the day. 21-3 Minnesota. Justin, David, and Laura.
You don't see that very often. 2 block punts returned for a touchdown. First and 10, another red zone opportunity for the Giants. Manning taking a shot to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Preston Parker. Dwayne Grotz there on the coverage.
Going to throw that fade to Preston Parker. In his hands, he's looking to cover it up, just falls out. He doesn't secure that ball. I know watching that one on film, he's going to be disappointed because that's one that when you get your opportunity to make a big play, you've got to come up with it.
Second down, Beckham is back in. Jennings, straight up the middle. Jennings breaks a tackle. Touchdown! Rashad Jennings, the 17-yard touchdown run. Second touchdown of the game for Jennings.
They're just going to run power. They're going to pull Weston Richburg. He's going to open it up. He seals right there at the point of attack. He cuts that ball back, and just determination by Jennings in the vision to get that opening, to run through those arm tackles, and just to get in the end zone. That's something that he has, that quiet confidence. He's not a guy who's a rah-rah guy. He's not a guy who's a yeller or a screamer. But when you see him on game day, he has that intensity in his eyes, and he brings it every week.
Josh Brown on for the extra point. 21-0. The Giants lead the Jaguars. 18 carries, 64 yards, 2 touchdowns already for Jennings. 21-0 New York beating Jacksonville here in the second quarter. Justin Kutcher alongside David Deal. David, you being an offensive lineman have to love what the Giants are doing right now. 18 carries already for Jennings.
You know, we talked about the Jaguars' disruptive front four, but Ben McAdoo in this offense has come in and they have said we need to establish the run, and you've got to give so much credit to Rashad Jennings. 18 carries right now for 64 yards, but it's the way that he's doing it. He is fighting through arm tackles. He has the determination that nobody's going to stop him, and the rest of the offense is rallied around him.
Brown kicking off to Todman, and this time Todman will not get a chance to return. So far, Rashad Jennings, 18 carries, 64 yards, 2 touchdowns. And like you said, he's running hard, second effort.
Keeps those legs moving, and that's pure determination. Guys are trying to wrap him up. Guys are trying to grab him, but he isn't letting anything stop him today, and the rest of the offense has rallied around him. You've got to give credit to the offensive line for opening up holes the ways that they are.
Let's see if Jacksonville can do anything offensively. Robinson on the carry. And Robinson will pick up 3 yards on first down. Let's check in with Laura Oakman.
Justin, an update on a big part of this Jaguars offense who is still in the locker room undergoing x-rays. Allen Hurns has a shoulder injury. His return is questionable. And just an update, we saw Odell Beckham Jr. back in the game, but he did leave for a little bit of hip treatment. Fell on that hip, but as we saw, good news is he went right back in.
All right, thanks, Laura. We'll have to keep the Jacksonville Jaguars and everybody posted on what happens with Allen Hurns. Bortles rolling out, throws, and it's a first down completion to Cecil Shorts. The first down of the game, and an ovation from the crowd here in Jacksonville.
And that's what Blake Bortles is capable of. He is an athlete. He can use those legs, and when he can use them in those misdirections and buy time, he's able to deliver the ball accurately.
We just got that report about Allen Hurns. Hurns is back in at the slot. And Bortles nearly threw his second interception of the season, as Stevie Brown was right there.
Blake Bortles trying to follow through, but Demontre Moore is able to get that bull rush pressure, and he's going to swipe, and you can see him follow through with that hand, hits him right in the hand.
2nd and 10. Bortles just 2 for 7 so far in the game. Bortles rolling out to his left, time again, throws, and this is complete to the rookie Allen Hurns. So good news for Jacksonville. Hurns is okay and makes the catch of 14 yards.
Same exact play that they ran 2 plays ago. You're going to see him just run across the field. Hurns, number 88, just runs that crossing route. You see McLean fall. And that's the tempo that this Jaguars offense has to have. They've got to be able to spread the ball, and they've got to use Blake Bortles to his best, and that's getting him outside of the pocket and moving.
Again, this time rolling out to his right, throws. Another completion, this time to his tight end, Clay Harbor. Another first down. So after 3 3-and-outs, 3 first downs on this drive right now for Jacksonville. That one a 17-yard completion. And like you said, they're trying to go hurry up. Keep that momentum going.
One of the other things that they do, 40% of their attempts are either screens, hitches, just bubbles, just trying to get these wide receivers into open space.
First play in Giants territory of the day for Jacksonville. Robinson on the handoff. They are Robinson. The flag comes flying in. Kerry Wynn with the tackle, a 2-yard pickup. My offensive lineman up here in the booth says it's going to be a hold.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 72. That 5-yard penalty will be added at the end of the run. Replay, first down.
My offensive lineman is very happy right now about not a hold.
You know, that's one that when you see something like that, a flag thrown at the point of attack, that's usually one that comes up a holding call.
see what happens. You retire, and now the hands to the face becomes a priority. A point of emphasis this year, both sides of the ball. Bortles fakes one way, comes back to Robinson. Robinson makes one player miss, dancing around. Denard Robinson with a nice play, making something out of nothing. Up to the 23 of New York, picks up 5.
As I stated earlier, they want to get these receivers, the running back in open space. That's 40% of their pass attempts. We saw the ability that he has. We saw him running different things at Michigan as the quarterback went in that zone read. He showed his ability and his athleticism right there.
And off to Robinson, spins away. Robinson, Denard Robinson inside the 10, down at the 6. Jameel McClain with the tackle.
Robert Ayers is pursuing from the backside. He isn't able to come up with this one. He overruns it, doesn't have a short tackle, wrap up. That's what allowed Denard Robinson to take that one backside.
First and goal from the 6 for the Jaguars. It's Robinson again. And Robinson will get a yard. Second and goal from the 5. Devon Kennard with the tackle.
They ran a little stunt inside there. They ran a little TE, a tackle and twist with Hankins and Jason Pierre-Paul. A lot of people think that that's something that you just run in the passing game, but when you can do it when you're running the football, it creates just uneven gaps and puts two different offensive linemen on different levels.
Toby Gerhart now in the backfield. Allen Hurns in a slot. Bortles taking a shot to the end zone, throws high, intended for Marquise Lee. Shockey Brown there on the coverage. It'll be third and goal for the Jaguars, a team that is 1-10 on the season. Three and outs to open this game for Jacksonville. And now here on this drive, a third and goal from the 5. Bortles throws into a crowd, and it's deflected, incomplete. Threw into what looked like at least triple coverage for Cecil Shorts.
Antrell Roll is the first one to be able to break on that ball. You see his eyes that entire time were looking right through Blake Bortles. But right away, that's something that the defense said, that they have got to create those turnovers. They've got to come up with those interceptions. And I will tell you this, knowing Antrell Roll is a former teammate, you do not want to test him again.
Well, fourth and goal from the 5. You're 1-10. You're down by 21. You might as well go for it here. Bortles out of the pocket, throws, touchdown. There is a flag on the field. The pass is caught by Shorts.
Holding. Offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
That's against last year's first-round pick, Luke Jokel. And that negates the touchdown, 4th and goal from the 5.
I said earlier in the run game they ran that TE. Now they're going to do the same thing. Hankins, JPP inside. But sure enough, once he starts breaking that contain, you're going to see Luke Jokel's left hand hold. Once your feet are beat, they're going to throw that flag every time. Referee is looking right through you. Brings back that touchdown.
So now a 33-yard field goal attempt for Josh Scobie. And with that hard count, they're able to draw the Giants off sides.
Encroachment. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
As a former teammate and as a former player for Tom Coughlin, This is one that you review in practice, the no-brainer down here, kicking the field goal. This is something that Coach Coughlin gets livid about because you're just giving him another attempt for no reason when you just can simply watch the football.
Now it's from 28 yards for Scobie. And the Jaguars are on the board. It was a huge day in college football yesterday. It doesn't get any bigger than this week, as four of the nation's top teams face a must-win game to keep their championship hopes alive. The road to the college football playoff goes through the Pac-12 championship. Arizona against Oregon. Oregon's only loss of the year, well, against those Arizona Wildcats. Wisconsin against Ohio State. Tough loss for Ohio State. They won the game yesterday. However, JT Barrett, their quarterback, is gone, so it's going to be a big decision on what happens with this Ohio State team. But let's talk about Jacksonville right now. Jacksonville finally marched down the field, put some points on the board. Blake Bortles, a good drive. But on the other side, Odell Beckham Jr. We came in talking about him. He's been effective, but he's also been used as a decoy a lot.
He's been very effective today. Granted, he doesn't have the numbers and the statistics right now that we thought he would have in the first half of this football game. But look at the way that Ben McAdoo has been able to use him. The fake reverses, you know, they run the little pig stunts to open up other guys. When you have a dynamic football player like that, a lot of the times it's not just the numbers he puts up. It's how he creates mismatches and how a defense and the safeties adjust to one player. And they've been able to take advantage of it today.
And by the way, 5 catches, 59 yards. That's not too shabby for a first half.
Not at all.
Preston Parker is in the end zone awaiting the kick from Scobie. Parker from 2 yards deep. Parker gets it back up to the 20-yard line. The 2-minute warning here in Jacksonville. It is 21-3 New York. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Giants take over at the 20. 1:59 to go here, leading 21-3. On first down, the handoff to Jennings, and Jennings gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe picks up a yard. And this first half, it was all Giants. Their last 3 drives resulted in 3 touchdowns. Jacksonville finally got something going on that last drive after getting just 4 total yards on their first 3. Manning throws to a wide open receiver. Ruben Randall up to the 44, a 23-yard completion, and a timeout called here by New York. Timeout here, 1:30 to go in the first half. Let's find out what's coming up at the half with Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, Andy Dalton and the Bengals try to hold on to the top spot in the AFC North. The Chargers and Ravens in a battle for playoff position in Baltimore. And the Raiders play the Rams. And while those aren't playoff teams, it is Howie's favorite game of the day. Highlights and more at half.
Very nice. 1st and 10 for the Giants at the 44-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining for New York. Manning dumps it off to Jennings. Jennings picks up 2. Good tackle by J.T. Thomas coming up. Aaron Colvin helps him out as well.
Nice coverage right there by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Eli Manning went through all his progressions. The coverage was nice. He went to his check down. They were only giving up 2 yards in that.
Manning with time. Now Manning just throws this one away. 3rd and 7 here for New York. 1:02 to go. Eli Manning, 14 of 18, 179 yards here in the first half. 7 different receivers have caught a ball, 1 touchdown. Here on 3rd and 7. Manning dumps it off to Jennings again. And Jennings gets wrapped up in the backfield by Sherrod Martin.
Nice
a loss
pressure.
of 4 on the play.
Nice pressure by Ryan Davis, number 59, going up against James Brewer. Forces Eli Manning to get rid of that one early, not take a sack, and hit the check down. And
the timeout taken here by Jacksonville with 53 seconds to go. And NFL athletes, they grew up playing in communities all across America. Well, now through NFL Play 60, they're encouraging kids in neighborhoods everywhere to come out to play for 60 minutes a day. To learn how NFL stars played as kids and to find great play ideas, visit NFLrush.com/play60. And I tell you what, after this holiday weekend, I could use about 60 minutes of exercise.
As a player and now still currently as a Fox analyst, I've still been involved with the NFL Play 60 events. They are awesome to see the kids running out there on the field. And that's one thing that you forget, how big everything looked like when you were running on this huge field in the stadium and what you were doing.
Ace Sanders back deep. A good punt by Steve Weatherford. And this is downed at the 6-yard line by Chandler Fenner. A 50-yard punt by Weatherford. 45 seconds to go here for Jacksonville in this first half. And Jacksonville has not been good this year when they are backed up deep in their own territory.
No, they have not. This is when you have a young team like this is a momentum football team. And when things are positive and when things are good, they feed off of it. But when you learn through adversity like this team has learned, down the road, that's when it pays dividends for them. But as a young team, you cannot be backed up down here inside the 10-yard line to start drives.
Bortles gets it back to Todman. Jordan Todman running out of bounds. Stops the clock with 38 seconds, chased out by Robert Ayers. These are the numbers we're referring to. 37 drives starting at the 20 or less. 1 for 37. I didn't know that was 3%. My math is not that good.
You could be a veteran football team and you cannot put yourself in those positions consistently. And as a young team, it's really hurt them.
2nd and 3. Bortles, he just goes down with the pressure coming. Jameel McClain there for the sack. And now a timeout called by New York.
McClain is just going to spike through. You see JPP come around. And when you have 2 players entering the same gap, you've got to pick your poison. There's miscommunication. The running back does not step up to help out with that blitz protection. And that's when you get open runners in there to get that sack on Blake Bortles.
After that loss of 7, it's now 3rd and 10. The Giants still have one more timeout. So Tom Coughlin, hoping his defense makes the stop, use the timeout, force the punt, and you never know what can happen. And really, looking ahead, if it's going to be 4th and 10, you may come with the pressure on that punt to try to see if you can block it.
You're going to be aggressive. Why not? You're up 20 to 3. And in a game like this, you're playing as much as you can and being aggressive all the way.
Well, that's an obvious call. Demontre Moore.
Encroachment, defense, number 98, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Hey, Deal, what were you just saying about being aggressive? That was pretty aggressive.
Yeah, you want to be aggressive, but you also have to be disciplined. You know it's a 3rd and long situation. Watch the football. I know you want to get a jump, you want to get your pass rush, but you can't do it when you jump like that.
So now 3rd and 5. Bortles throws and he completes that pass for the 1st down to Marquise Lee, the rookie out of USC. And now a timeout taken by Jacksonville. Don't forget, coming up in just about a minute or so, we got the Visa halftime with Kirk, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. The AFC North, what a division that is now. And the Panthers in Carolina, they continue to struggle on the season. A team that last year went to the playoffs. It was kind of an off season for Carolina where they weren't sure, do we have high expectations, do we not, because the receiving core is gone, no Steve Smith, the offensive line, and it hasn't turned out to be a good year for Carolina.
And they went from a team that had 60 sacks last year to a defense that was injury plagued and let's be honest, Greg Hardy was the complete difference maker for that defense.
Huge loss. Bortles thrown off the back foot. Incomplete. Looking for Cecil Shorts. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie there on the coverage. .23 seconds to go here in the first half.
White 53, White 53, down! Green 80! Green shot!
Bortles steps up. Bortles has room to run. And Bortles finally runs out of bounds, pushed out by Antrell Roll. He picks up 29 yards with 14 seconds to go.
They run that same stunt, but this time it's DeMontre Moore coming inside on the twist. Blake Bortles sees that seam, has the athletic ability to rush downfield and continue. I mean, right now, he's averaging 5.8 yards a carry this season, and he's converted 7 first downs running the ball at a 70% rate.
First and 10 at the 47. And a timeout taken by New York before the snap.
30-second timeout, New York.
The Giants didn't like their defense set up against that Jacksonville offense. Of course, Jacksonville with 14 seconds on the clock, just trying to get into field goal range for Josh Scobie. His season long is 49. His career long is 59. Just saw Tom Coughlin. His career began as a head coach right here in Jacksonville. He's won 2 Super Bowls with David Deal on his front, on his offensive line. 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. His record with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 68-60. Since he's been gone, it hasn't been pretty for Jacksonville.
He wasn't only just the head coach, he was the general manager and started this organization.
Bortles throws high, incomplete. Looking for Allen Hurns. 10 seconds left. And there's another player down here for Jacksonville. It looks like it's Austin Pastore, the right tackle.
See him here at the right tackle position, setting back on this pass rush here. It's interesting to see where it happened. You see him grab his leg there. But there wasn't any sudden movement or anything or hit that really caused that.
Pastore missed the first 4 games this year with a hand injury he suffered in the preseason. As he gets 10-2. Tom Coughlin, a reunion here in Jacksonville. Earlier today, got a chance to meet a lot of his former players. Tony Baselli, speaking of offensive linemen, he was the anchor of that offensive line.
Absolute stud. The only problem is he would have had a longer career if he just didn't have the shoulder injuries like he had, because he was a dominant left tackle. Not only what he was able to do in pass pro, but he would just road grade people as a left tackle as well.
Now doing radio work for the Jaguars. What I loved about him, in an article today, he said, we all hated Tom Coughlin. That was the one thing we had in common with the team. We hated Coughlin, but you know what? We respected Coughlin.
Well, that was one way that they came together as a team, if that was the one thing that they all had in common. But I know as a former player for Coach, when he started with us as a New York Giants head coach during my playing years, he was tough. And he came in as a demanding head coach, wanted to wean out who his guys were, who weren't.
Well, because of that injury, Jacksonville lost their timeout, and that tackle against Allen Hurns is going to end this first half. 21-3. The Giants lead at the end of the first half. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime show, which starts right now. 21-3 back here in Jacksonville. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan in the first half. Rashad Jennings, 19 carries, 65 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Speaking of excitement, let's check in with Laura Oakland, who's standing by with the mother of the star for the Giants, Odell Beckham Jr.
Heather Van Norman, I'm here with Odell's mom, but also pretty much Odell's coach. She is a Division I track coach, has been for 20 years. You were watching your son in the stands, hopefully better seats, when he made the catch. Tell me, as a coach and a mother, how you felt.
As a mother, I think for me, he has worked so hard. I mean, one thing that someone has asked me about 2 months ago is a word to describe it, and I said determined. So for me, that catch was just sheer determination and focus. He's just trying to be as much of an entity and as much for this Giants team as he possibly can be, whether it's punt return, catching. So I think he was just happy to put points on the board, and I was happy to see that. As a coach, I watch biomechanics. He and I talk a little bit different dialect, and we have a great time talking about it. So I was watching every body movement that he was going through. And then at the very end, I thought, he could have caught that with one finger.
I love that. See where he gets his confidence and humility. Thank you so much. Great seeing you. Congratulations on all your son's early success and hopefully continued. And his sister Jasmine, thank you for being here. Back to you, Justin.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You can see, speaking with Odell Beckham Jr. yesterday, a good kid, articulate. Obviously, his mom has had a huge influence. And did you see the size of his mom's hands?
Yeah. She has those big hands just like him to be able to go grab it. But I think the best word to describe him is passionate. He loves the game of football.
Jordan Todman on the return. A flag comes flying in as he gets up to the 23-yard line. Let's wait to see what this penalty is.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team. That's half the distance of the goal. First down.
So that just backs up the Jaguars even further in their own territory to start this third quarter. Justin Kutcher alongside David Deal. David, in that first half, we saw the Giants offense do something that they've been trying to do, and that's establish the run. They really did it.
They most certainly did, and with all the changes and adjustments that they've had to make to the offensive line, it was pertinent that they got the run game going, because if you become one-dimensional against the Jacksonville Jaguars with the threats that they have at the defensive line position, you would be in for a long day.
Bortles overthrew his intended receiver, Alan Hearns. The Jaguars taking a shot down the field on their first play from scrimmage here in the second half. Blake Bortles, the first 3 drives, 3 and outs for Jacksonville, that finally got something going. The first half stats, look at that, 254 total yards, time of possession. The Giants doubling up Jacksonville. Bernard Robinson on the carry, and Robinson across the 10 picks up 3. Jason Pierre-Paul with the tackle.
Nice lead block there by Brandon Linder. This offense has got to do something to control the time of possession and give their defense an opportunity in this football game. Their defense has been on the field far too long, and the Giants had that big long drive marching over 10 plays. The offense came out and had a 3 and out. You cannot do that to your defense.
That drive you're talking about, 19 plays, 9:51. 3rd and 7. Bortles winds up and throws, completes the pass to Cecil Shorts for the first down.
Nice protection at the line of scrimmage. You see Toby Gerhart step up, taking that blitz. Nice route by Cecil Shorts. He's able to catch that ball, get it to the sidelines, and convert for that first down.
Toby Gerhart still in the backfield. Bortles comes near side to Hearns. Hearns breaks a tackle and picks up another first down as he gets up to the 32, a 13-yard completion.
He's able to give a little double move out there, a little shake to get Shockey Brown out of position, and to continue to get that yard after carry.
And they go hurry up. We've seen them much more effective when they go with a hurry up. Play action. Bortles slings it. Completes to Hearns, far side, who got hit right away by Rogers Cromartie. A 7-yard completion.
Dominic Rogers Cromartie was the one that hit him earlier to jar the ball out and actually make Hearns sideline for a couple plays. Was able to come up with another big hit.
2nd and 3. Bortles to Marquise Lee. Lee reaching for that first down. It looks like he's really close. Let's wait to see from the official. Still no sign yet, and now it looks like we're going to need a measurement.
Marquise Lee thought it was a first down. He was quick to give the signal. As I stated earlier, this is a team that loves to run those screens, the bubbles, the hitches. You know, that's 40% of their passes. So for them, they feel like if they get these wide receivers into open space, they've got enough elusiveness to get those yards after catch and to move the chains.
By the way, Marquise Lee was right. It was a first down. We talked about the youth of this team at the wide receiver position. Marquise Lee, a rookie. Allen Hurns, a rookie. Allen Robinson, who's on the IR, another rookie. To go along with their rookie quarterback in Blake Bortles.
It allows this group to grow up together and to get that timing now. And like I said, when you can play through adversity and able to respond, and even though the record doesn't show it, and continue to take steps forward, the following season is when teams like this explode.
Incomplete pass to Clay Harbor. You can see it hit the ground, short hop into the hands of Harbor. So second down and 10.
Something Roger Dorn does not do.
He usually olays it.
Get down! Get down! Green 30! Green 30!
Again, Bortles slips, and Bortles will get sacked. Sacked by Devon Kennard. His first sack of the season, the rookie out of USC.
He has outside contain at the bottom of the screen. They're going to run that misdirection that they've been running with the play action. Maintains his control, keeps everything inside out, and is able to come up with a big sack.
A loss of 7 on the play, so 3rd and 17 now for Jacksonville. Bortles has it batted down at the line. Demontre Moore, his second deflected ball of the day.
The Giants' defensive line continue to run those twist ups up in front. They feel like that's a way to get the mismatches, and that's tough as a young offensive line when you have different groups in there to punch and pass all that stuff. But they've been able to hold up. But Demontre Moore, once again, knows that he's not going to be able to get home. Gets his eyes through and is able to get that pass defensed and force them to punt again.
Anger to punt, driving Beckham back. Odell Beckham at the 3-yard line. And Beckham gets wrapped up by the ankles by Toby Gerhart, a 9-yard return. The Giants defense doing a good job today, leading by 18. Back here in Jacksonville, Florida, 21-3. Giants on top of the Jaguars. Justin Kutcher alongside David Diamora. On first down, it's Jennings on the carry. Up the middle, picks up 3. Roy Miller with the tackle.
Nice lead block by the Rhinoceros, Henry Hynoski.
So that was his nickname. We found out your nickname by the flight attendant was John Travolta for your dressing style.
As an offensive line, and you've got to look sharp on the road.
The dressing style, the Movember mustache, all impressive. Manning fumbles it. Still loose in the end zone. Jennings trying to pick it up, and it's going to be a touchdown recovered by Jacksonville.
Daniel Fells right here at the tight end position is trying to be aggressive in this play action, but he gets outside the framework. On all those jump sets, you've always got to stay inside out. He gives Geno Hayes that inside pass rush move where he's able to get that pressure and get that set.
It was J.T. Thomas who recovered the ball in the end zone. Rashad Jennings, he knew if he dove on it, it would be a safety, so he tried picking it up, and getting it out of the end zone. And by doing that, J.T. Thomas came in, knocked it free. And there it is as he falls on it for the touchdown. Josh Scobie on for the extra point. Last week it was the defense for Jacksonville forcing turnovers. The offense couldn't take advantage. This week the defense forced the turnover and they scored. Gus Bradley, he's pumped up. Loves the effort by his defense. J.T. Thomas recovered the fumble in the end zone for a touchdown. The first fumble recovery for a touchdown for Jacksonville in over a year. So Scobie's on to kick off once again to Preston Parker. 21-10. The Giants lead the Jaguars now. Parker will take a knee in the end zone. So let's go back to this play and watch Rashad Jennings knowing again that if he falls on it, it's a safety. So you see him have the ball, or he thinks he has it, to get up, get out of the end zone, but instead there came J.T. Thomas, poked it free, dove on it, and quickly a signal for the touchdown. And all of a sudden, Dave, this is a big possession right now for the Giants offense.
This is where the Giants this season have gotten in trouble. A big momentum play like that, they cannot go 3 and out in this drive. They've got to come up with points right now.
Jennings, a good run, high stepping it up to the 26, picks up 6. Time for a game break. Let's go back to L.A. and Joe Clapp.
All right, Justin, we go to Pittsburgh, where after the second interception of Big Ben Day, Drew Brees finds Nick Toon. The play will be reviewed. It stands 21-6 Saints. Justin, David, and Laura.
All right, thanks so much. Back here, it's 21-10, New York over Jacksonville. Second down and 4. Jennings again, waiting for something to develop. And Jennings will get a yard, tackled by Telvin Smith, his 6th tackle of the day. The rookie out of Florida State, who had a career-high 12 tackles last weekend against Indianapolis.
Big Avery Jones, number 95 in there, did a very nice job of holding off that double team, sitting at the point of attack so Telvin Smith could come underneath and make that big tackle.
3rd and 3. The Giants 6 for 8 on 3rd down conversions today. Beckham in motion. Manning, pressure coming. Manning goes down again. The ball came loose, but they're going to say he was down. Senderick Marks with another sack.
Senderick Marks up the middle, 59. Jones or Davis around the inside. Clemens off of the edge. That twisting, that penetration, they were able to get right in the face of Eli Manning and come up with a big sack.
Wow, that ball came loose. It looked like it came loose early. And it looks like Jacksonville right now is going to challenge the ruling on the field.
The quarterback was ruled to have forward progress. That cannot be challenged. 4th down.
The Giants catch a break here. A big break for New York. Frustration for Gus Bradley in Jacksonville. Weatherford's punt. Ace Sanders at the 26. Sanders up to the 38, but a flag comes in. A 53-yard punt, 13-yard return. Let's wait to see what this flag is for.
During the return, holding return team number 35. 10-yard penalty, first down, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville pushed back again because of a penalty. However, a 3-and-out force by the Jacksonville defense. Momentum turning here in Jacksonville. The Jaguars with the ball. Once again, their defense really stepping up. A fumble recovery for a touchdown in the end zone. A 3-and-out. They get the ball back starting now at their own 22-yard line. Bortles on first down. Bortles pressured. He goes down. Sacked by Kennard for the second time in this quarter.
That is not the matchup you want to have. Kennard versus Robinson, a running back. When you have this many defensive line inside, you've got to get help or do something to change that protection, because he is not going to be able to hold up against a big linebacker defensive end like that.
A loss of 9, second and 19. Bortles swings it out to Robinson in some space. Robinson stepped out of bounds. They're going to mark him out. A late flag comes in. He's marked out at the 19. Antrell Roll maybe got a late hit on Denard Robinson.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, defense number 26. That 15-yard penalty will be added at the end of the play, automatic first down.
This is the area where the Giants can't just decompose right here.
No, and I understand the same thing. You want to be aggressive, but when you're flying over there, you see him that close to the sidelines and his foot get out. You've got to pull off as much as you can to make sure you don't get that personal foul.
Bortles, play action, able to stay on his feet. Now he goes down and fumbles the football. They're going to say he was down. Stevie Brown ran it in, but the official said he was down. Wow.
He was ruled down by contact.
Let's see if that knee goes down before that ball comes out. No, it did not.
Second down and 21. The Giants caught a break before, and the Jaguars maybe catch a break here. Bortles again with a screen to Robinson. Very nice tackle by Antrell Roll.
Huge hit by Antrell Roll. You see his eyes the entire time in the backfield looking at Blake Bortles. He diagnoses it, is able to slip out, get out before any of the linemen for the Jaguars are, come up with a huge hit in the backfield.
Antrell Roll said yesterday, with a young quarterback like Bortles, he likes to dump the ball off. Short passes. He read that one right away. Third and 24 now. Bortles again pressured. Bortles goes down again. Sacked this time by Kerry Wynn. Well, the defense stepped up for the Giants.
This time they move Robert Ayers out on the tackle to get some space, and once again, they're working that TE. They try punching and passing it off. Ayers splits them. JPP is constantly on the pursuit and is able to come up with another big sack. This is the way the defense needed to step up after that 3-and-out that the New York Giants offense just had.
A season-high 6 sacks for the Giants defense. Beckham from the 42. Beckham going backwards, trying to get around the edge. He does. Cuts it back inside. Odell Beckham Jr. after the 44-yard punt. And the defense stepping up in a 14-yard return for Beckham. 6 sacks on the day for the Giants defense. Their defensive line doing the job against the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line. Good starting field position here for New York at the 42 of Jacksonville. Hand off to Williams. Williams turns the corner and has a first down. Andre Williams gets a first down, and this offense needs it because the last two possessions haven't been pretty.
No, they had the sack, forced fumble for the touchdown. Sack, forced fumble that wasn't called. They were able to get the ball back, punt it. But look at the field position that the Giants defense has just given them. And now they're going up-tempo, and they're trying to get whatever they can do into a rhythm to put a touchdown on the board right now.
Play action. Manning rolling out to his right. Comes back, and it's incomplete. Ruben Randall, they're saying he was juggling the ball as he was going out of bounds.
Running that play action misdirection. They ran the zone stretch to the left to play before with Williams. They were able to roll it back out. Ruben Randall running the comeback, catches it, but only 1 foot in bounds.
2nd and 10 for New York. Handoff, Williams up the middle. And Williams goes down a little awkwardly at the 25, gets 6. Jonathan Cyprien with the stop.
Nice job of being elusive in the hole because Telvin Smith was able to undercut that one in front of Larry Donnell, but Williams had enough shiftiness to pop it outside to the right and continue to get that gain on that run.
Williams goes out. Rashad Jennings comes in here on 3rd and 4. Manning gets hit as he throws the ball. The pressure coming again, Chris Clemens. And that's what that Eli would like to have back, trying to step up to avoid that.
James Brewer stepping in for Jeff Schwartz, who was in for Justin Pugh. Chris Clemens just timing that up, able to hit the hands of James Brewer around the edge, and be able to come up with that big stop right there.
So now a 43-yard field goal attempt for Josh Brown. Does he bend it in? No good. His first miss of the year. Josh Brown, who is a perfect 10 for 10. Wide right. The missed field goal by Josh Brown. And now Jacksonville takes over at the 33-yard line. Toby Gerhardt in the backfield for the Jaguars. Marquise Lee in motion. They give it off to Gerhardt up the middle. And Gerhardt up to the 37. Tackled by Jay Bromley, the rookie out of Syracuse, a 4-yard run. Robert Ayers now headed back towards the locker room. Ayers, maybe the most effective defensive lineman for the Giants this year. 5 sacks, a forced fumble on the season.
Here's the Wildcat.
Yep, Denard Robinson in there at quarterback. Robinson keeps it. Denard Robinson across midfield. And he's up to the 47 of the Giants, a 16-yard run.
There's that Wildcat zone read. Something that Denard Robinson is very familiar in with his quarterback background at Michigan. But the biggest thing out of that is how deceptive you have to be with the football, pulling it in and out of the stomach, and just trying to keep a defensive end and the defense off keel on where the football is actually at.
And he stays in there in the Wildcat. Don't forget, he could also throw it. Not throwing it, a designed run. And Robinson on first down gets 5, and here comes Blake Bortles back in. .320 to go here in this third quarter. The Jaguars are averaging 6.7 yards per carry.
Green A, ball field, ball field. Green A.
Bortles, play action. Throws and completes the ball to Mercedes Lewis, his first catch of the day. Stevie Brown there with a tackle. Mercedes Lewis returned last week, had missed 8 games with a high ankle sprain.
He's got 306 receptions for 3,684 yards and 26 touchdowns. He leads the Jaguars in pretty much every receiving record for a tight end. And it is a great addition for him to have him back with the wide receiver threats that they have to be able to try to stretch the field and hit him in the seams.
Bortles running a zone read for the first down. Maybe he's been hanging out with Denard Robinson saying, hey, can you teach me that play?
Blake Bortles continuing to show his athletic ability. He's their second leading rusher on this football team, and you're right. He took one right out of Denard Robinson's back pocket and did it.
Hey, Gamble!
First and 10. Bortles taking the shot to the end zone. Touchdown, Marquise Lee. And he pulls the Bo Jackson running into the tunnel.
He's just going to run a fly. See the eyes in the backfield by Bowman, but he just outruns him. He's on target. Blake Bortles puts it out there where only that wide receiver, Marquise Lee, can catch that football to the outside shoulder. Nicely thrown ball. Huge touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Good footwork as well from Lee. 21-16, and the Jaguars are going to go for the 2-point conversion to try to make this a 3-point game. Gerhardt is in at tailback. Bortles in a shotgun. Bortles has it batted down by Jason Pierre-Paul. But we talked about momentum in this game, and it has certainly turned in favor of the Jaguars. Pierre-Paul read that one right away.
Yeah, he went with the bull rush, trying to press the pocket, contain everything inside. He was able to get his hand up and stop that 2-point conversion.
16 unanswered points for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This third quarter has not been kind to the Giants. A turnover that resulted in a fumble recovery for a touchdown, a missed field goal. And now it's a 5-point game, under 2 to play here in this third quarter.
You said it earlier in the game, how this defense was able to step up and give Andrew Luck last week a hard time the entire game. Well, in this opportunity, when they've stepped up in the second half, the offense has responded. They've moved the ball. They've scored a touchdown, and they've put themselves right back into this football game.
And everybody on the Giants said, we have to learn how to finish games. And if you go back and to see what they have done recently, they've been in games. They haven't been able to finish them. Week 10 against Seattle, they were in it to the fourth quarter. Several chances against San Francisco. Of course, what happened last week against Dallas. And now Scobie kicking off. Preston Parker. And he will take a knee. And it doesn't get any bigger than this in college football. 4 of the nation's top teams face a must-win game to keep their championship hopes alive, and a trip to the college football playoff. Arizona against Oregon, the Pac-12 championship. Wisconsin against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Friday and Saturday only on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Let's see what the Giants can do now. Starting at the 20. Rashad Jennings back in at tailback. They give it to him. Jennings. A good run on first down. Josh Evans hung on to the shoe of Jennings. Took him down, a pickup of 8.
Glad he was able to hold on to something, because if he didn't come up with that tackle right there, Rashad Jennings would have easily had an extra 8 to 10 yards on that run.
The last 4 possessions for the Giants. Punt, fumble, punt, missed field goal.
118,
2nd and 2. Manning rolling out. Throws and completes the pass to Donnell for the first down. Larry Donnell picks up 5. Giants keep on moving, but in this offense, the tight ends have become so much more important this year.
They most certainly have. And we're talking about Larry Donnell, who is second right now in the NFC with 6 touchdowns receiving. And he's a guy who earned it. He was a practice squad guy that really stepped up his game, took on the challenge to be a big role in this offense. And he's played very well for him, especially in the red zone.
A 2-yard run for Jennings. The second half has not been kind to New York. Last week they led by 11 at the half, lost by 3. Today an 18-point lead. It's now 21-16. Second down and 8. Manning changing the play. A run for Jennings, and Jennings gets a yard. That is the end of the third quarter. Giants 21, Jaguars 16. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a break from your local station. We've got ourselves a game here in Jacksonville after 13 unanswered in the third quarter by the Jaguars. It is 21-16. Justin Kutcher alongside David Deal and Laura Oakman.
Every football game is decided by one player or another. They need to convert this third down right now. 3rd and 7.
Manning throws off the back foot, completes the pass to Ruben Randall, and Randall makes a couple of guys miss for the first down.
It was pertinent for this offense to get this first down on this third down right now. In order to move this, continue with the confidence, and try to change the momentum of this football game, they had to convert right there.
Giants are now 7 for 11 on third downs. Andre Williams gets hit in the backfield. Derek Marks just jumped through the line and hit him for a loss of 4.
I know that J.D. Walton has to get back on this one, but James Brewer, the right tackle, which is called a sink hinge, has got to get a hand on Derek Marks to stop that penetration, because he did not allow time for J.D. Walton to come back on that back block.
2nd and 14. Manning in some trouble. Sacked again. This time it's Tyson Alualu.
The Giants' offensive line held up on that one, but you've got to give a lot of credit right now to the Jaguars' secondary. Very nice job in coverage, shutting down everything. Eli read through all his progressions, didn't have anywhere to go with the football. Defensive line in a constant pursuit, and were able to come up with another big sack.
3rd sack this half for Jacksonville. Manning has been good on third downs, but this is 3rd and 15. They're making some noise here. Manning steps up, dumps it off to Donnell, and Donnell fumbles the football. Picked up far side. All the way back by Aaron Colvin for the touchdown.
Well, you talk about momentum. Right now, that was a complete momentum changer. Aaron Colvin is able to come up with a big hit on Larry Donnell to jar that ball out, is able to scoop it back up, return that one for a touchdown. We spoke about the momentum in this football game and how the Giants needed to be successful on this drive to switch it. They did not. And listen to this crowd and the way that the Jaguars have responded.
Dwayne Grotz forced the fumble. Aaron Colvin picked it up 43 yards, ran it back. 2nd fumble recovery for a touchdown for the Jacksonville defense. They had gone 18 games without one. And now, all of a sudden, They lead by 1, and they're going to go for 2. Play action. Bortles back of the end zone, incomplete. Was looking for Mercedes Lewis. "22 unanswered points by Jacksonville." The defense stepping up in a huge way. My, how things have changed here in Jacksonville thanks to 2 fumble recoveries for a touchdown by the Jaguars defense. The first time they've done that in 47 games. Larry Donnell fumbled the last one. Returned by Aaron Colvin. Josh Scobie to kick off with Preston Parker in his own end zone. And Parker once again will take a knee. But this comeback by Jacksonville has been fueled by the defense.
Most certainly has. Their ability to attack and put pressure and hit Eli Manning to force the fumbles to get this offense out of sync. And look at the offensive side of the ball for the Jaguars. They haven't made a huge adjustments at halftime, but what they're doing is they're executing. They had the Wildcat going to get the hands in Denard Robinson's hands just to spread things around. But Blake Bortles has come out with composure and poise the second half with all the adversity they hit in the first.
Manning on first down, hands off to Jennings. And Jennings picks up 4. Let's check in with Laura Oakman.
And I was on that sideline, the Giant sideline, when that just happened, and all I can say is describing it by they were all stunned, especially Larry Donnell. But this validates what Tom Coughlin told us yesterday. The thing he's most proud about with this team is how they've hung together. They haven't turned on each other. While Larry had his head down, at least a dozen players, offensively, defensive guys, and coaches all came up telling him, put your head back up.
Well, he's got to pick his head up. Somebody's got to pick up this team because right now they've given up 22 unanswered. Manning dumps it off to Jennings. And Jennings able to dive forward to pick up 3. Telvin Smith with his 8th tackle on the afternoon. So 3rd and 3 coming up. And I think it goes without saying the Giants need to convert here on 3rd down. Gus Bradley talked about how his team has been in a lot of games. The Giants players were saying, you know what, Jacksonville, they're 1-10, but they're better than 1-10. Andre Williams in the backfield here on 3rd and 3. Manning has time over the middle to Donnell, and it's incomplete. Could not hang on. Coming up to make the hit, J.T. Thomas.
Nice play by J.T. Thomas. Able to come up, not only make a hit, but get that hand inside to get that ball ripped out of Larry Donnell. This defense has continued to rise up in this football game and make key plays in perfect situations and times. And they've put this team back in the lead and in position to win this football game.
Weatherford, a good punt. Out of bounds. That's where they mark it down. It's going to be down at the 22. All smiles now for the Jaguars as they lead here by 1. Denard Robinson in there again with the Wildcat. Jordan Todman with the carry. And Todman gets hit for a loss of 1. 2nd and 11. Jonathan Hankins with the tackle. The Jaguars up by 1, coming up on 11 minutes to go here in this 4th quarter. It has been all Jacksonville here in this second half. It was all New York in the first half, and the time has certainly changed.
Green 80. Green is up.
Gerhardt. And Toby Gerhardt reaching forward. Up to the 24, Jameel McClain with the tackle. 3rd down coming up. We've seen the Jacksonville defense, David, make stops when they need to. Now it's time for the New York defense to make a stop. Who's going to step up on defense for the Giants? Force a 3 and out. 7. Bortles hit from behind, sacked. Jason Pierre-Paul. I guess he's the one who's going to make the big play.
You must have heard ask the question, because that is the type of rush that JPP is capable of having at the top of the screen against Luke Joeckel. They show the blitz inside, so Gerhardt cannot go out there. The chip just completely beats him. The timing off of the edge to rip through, time up the hands of Luke Joeckel so he can't get him up to punch and redirect him. Huge sack, huge momentum play. And we need to see more out of that of JPP this game.
Bryce angled a punt once again to Odell Beckham Jr. from the 29. Beckham's got to be careful with that ball as he gets dragged down. Let's see where they mark him down at the 27-yard line. A 52-yard punt, -3 on the return with the big play by JPP.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here.
The Giants are trailing by 1. Their offensive line is in shambles right now because of injuries.
They've had to reshuffle. James Brewer has gone inside with a concussion. In comes Dallas Reynolds at the right guard position that had to bump John Jerry from right guard now to right tackle.
Manning comes back for Andre Williams, who gets hit right away by Josh Evans. For more on these injuries, let's check back in with Laura Oakman.
I'm thinking you should hold David down. This Giants team might need him to come in offensive line. As you said, tackle James Brewer. He's out for the rest of the game with a concussion. Antrell Roll told us this is the weirdest season he's been in because of the injuries. It gets weirder. Special teams special teams coach Tom Quinn, injured earlier in the game. You'll see him on the sideline now in a walking boot. Coaching hurt.
By the way, Laura, you want me to hold David down? Have you seen the two of us? That's not going to happen. 2nd and 12. Williams. And Williams going nowhere, getting game tackled by the Jaguars. Geno Hayes and J.T. Thomas combined for the tackle. The Giants offense, which scored 3 touchdowns on 3 successive drives, have now gone with 3 punts, 2 fumbles, a missed field goal, and those 2 fumbles led to touchdowns for Jacksonville.
It's been a complete tale of 2 halves. In the first half, discipline, protecting the football, pass protection, running the football effectively. Second half, not effective running the ball, giving up sacks, big plays, and the momentum has completely switched sides.
And where is Odell Beckham Jr.? Can Manning find him? Eli throws short to Daniel Fells as he gets hit. And a 3-and-out forced again by this Jacksonville defense.
Eli looking downfield, and they give enough protection in the beginning, but the coverage on the back end of the Jaguars and the relentlessness of this defensive line to continue to attack, to get the hits and the sacks on the quarterback, get him to punt the football right now, and let's see if the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to capitalize this and can put the nail in the coffin for this football game.
Weatherford to punt. Ace Sanders back at the 17. Sanders dragged down at the 21-yard line. Jacksonville trying to get this crowd into it here in the 4th quarter, leading by 1. Well, have you heard about the new show, Empire? It's coming in January, starring Terrence Howard as a hip-hop mogul and Taraji P. Henson as his just-out-of-prison ex-wife. It's high drama and amazing music. Empire premieres Wednesday, January 7th on Fox. Jacksonville with the ball in the lead. 7:40 to go here in the 4th. On first down, the handoff to Denard Robinson, and Robinson going backwards. It'll be a loss of 4 on the play. Devon Kennard is the man who brought him down.
Nice job by the defensive line of the Giants, being stout up the middle, not giving up any ground, forcing that ball to go east and west, not north and south. Giants were able to come up with another tackle for a loss.
2nd and 14. Bortles over the middle to Marquise Lee, and Lee gets tackled at the 25-yard line, picks up 8. Shockey Brown and Stevie Brown combined for that tackle.
New York Giants being more aggressive right now on the defensive side of the ball. They are blitzing, they are attacking, and they are trying to do whatever they can to get Blake Bortles off a rhythm.
3rd and 6. We saw Jason Pierre-Paul come up with a big play on the last defensive stop by the Giants. They need another one here. Bortles gets rid of it quickly, too quickly. Incomplete for Mercedes Lewis. And a 3-and-out forced by the New York defense.
Nice job by Perry Fuel there, dialing up a blitz, bringing off of the edge. Spencer Paysinger, McLean inside, forcing Bortles to get rid of that ball quick, where his receiver wasn't open and wasn't able to turn around. Huge stop right there for the defense of the New York Giants.
So Bryce Anger on to punt again. Odell Beckham Jr. standing at his own 30-yard line. A good punt by Anger, driving Beckham all the way back as he starts from the 6. Beckham getting outside, runs it all the way out to the 30-yard line. A 66-yard punt by Anger. And let's go to L.A. for an update with Joel Klatt.
All right, Kutch, you've got a rookie quarterback there, and there's a new rookie in town in Cleveland. Johnny Manziel's first series as a starter. 80 yards, touchdown. 13 yards rushing, 54 yards passing. Brian Hoyer, I don't think you're going to see the field again, my friend. It's 20-10 Bills.
Wow, how about that for Johnny Football? Andre Williams in the backfield here on first down for New York. Manning finds Odell Beckham Jr. across midfield. And Beckham goes down at the 45. A 23-yard completion, his first catch of the second half.
Here he is in that slot position. My mistake at the outside position. They gave him coverage. They didn't touch him at the line of scrimmage. They didn't press him. They gave him a free release, and that is not what you want to do when you have an explosive player like that.
Manning finds Beckham again. Back-to-back catches for Odell Beckham Jr. Let's go back and find out from Laura what's going on.
The injuries are piling up for the Giants. Rashad Jennings, 91 yards on the day, having a great day, and he is questionable right now, not in the field with an ankle injury, Justin.
Amazing what's going on right now with this Giants team. They talked about the injuries all year long. 14 players on the IR, the most in the NFL. And it's 2nd and 2 now as they trail by 1, coming up on 5 minutes to go. Manning finds his tight end, Larry Donnell, for the first down, moving the chains. Larry Donnell had that fumble before that led to a touchdown by Aaron Colvin.
This is the Eli Manning we saw in the first half. In sync, in timing with his routes, in timing with the wide receivers, and delivering the ball precisely. They need to continue this right now.
Manning completes the pass to Randall, breaks the tackle. And Randall gets dragged down at the 14, a 17-yard completion.
We just talked about Eli putting that ball precisely where it needs to be. Hit Ruben Randall right in stride, right where the ball needed to be. Nice little B-button spin move right there to continue the yards after catch. But this momentum is getting back on the Giants side, and the offense is thriving off of it right now.
In the red zone for the 4th time today, the Giants, they're 3 for 3 with 3 touchdowns. Williams on the carry, and Williams will lose a yard. Red Bryant and Jonathan Cyprien combined for the tackle for a loss.
Big Red Bryant. I remember playing up against him all those years he was in Seattle. And I remember our offensive line coach, get him off of the point attack. Make sure you get him moved. It is difficult to get Red Bryant moved as a defensive end. Not to mention the times that you put him on a tight end, it's a complete mismatch right away.
A timeout taken here by Jacksonville. Former UFC heavyweight champion Junior Dos Santos takes on 4th-ranked Stipe Miocic. And what should be an epic bout, a full weekend of UFC action begins Friday, December 12th with the Ultimate Fighter finale on Fox Sports 1, where a champion will be crowned, and continues Saturday, December 13th with UFC Fight Night on Fox. 2nd down and 11 here for the Giants, trailing by 1. Don't forget, Josh Brown missed a 43-yard field goal. So the Giants, who are 3 for 3 in the red zone with 3 touchdowns. Manning stepping up to the end zone. Incomplete. Was looking for Donnell. Third and 11. This is a huge game for the New York Giants and Tom Coughlin. Having lost 6 in a row, they're out of the playoffs. A lot of talk in the New York area about whose job is safe, whose job is not safe. You need a win here today.
You're playing for pride, and as a player, you're playing for your job.
On 3rd and 11, Manning out of the pocket. Manning throws, in this one, he throws away. The intended receiver was Preston Parker.
We talked about the coverage of the Jacksonville Jaguars stepping up here in the second half. Eli Manning went through each one of his progressions, was able to be elusive enough to get outside of the pocket, to break it and try to make a play downfield. And throughout that entire time, the wide receivers were still covered.
A 33-yard field goal attempt now for Josh Brown to give the Giants the lead. He missed from 43 earlier. He doesn't miss this time. The Giants back on top, 24-22. Nothing but net, literally. Well, Week 13 continues later today on CBS, and for some of you, right here on Fox. Then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. It's a 2-point ball game. Let's think about a couple of things. We had the missed field goal by Josh Brown before. We also had 2 missed 2-point conversion attempts by the Jaguars. So those 2 attempts could come back to really haunt them.
The magic number for the Jacksonville Jaguars is 24. Why? 24 points. The last 2 seasons, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 4-0. Anytime they've been under 24 points, they are 1-22.
We now welcome those of you who are watching the Panthers and Vikings here in Jacksonville. Justin Kutcher alongside David Deal and Laura Oakman. It's a 24-22 lead for the New York Giants after a 33-yard field goal by Josh Brown. And Brown here to kick off with Jordan Todman deep for Jacksonville. Todman will take a knee. Jacksonville will have the ball at the 20. Here in the second half, the Jacksonville defense came alive. 2 touchdowns for them here in this half.
They've completely thrown the timing and the tempo off of the New York Giants offense. The pressure, the hits, the sacks. But even bigger than that, the coverage on the back end for the Jacksonville Jaguars has made Eli go through all of his progressions and not be able to come up with the big plays that he needed to.
Bortles in the shotgun, empty backfield. Bortles on first down, pumps going down the sideline, incomplete, looking for Jordan Todman. Zach Bowman there on the coverage. The Giants scored 21 points in the first half. Here in the second half, Jacksonville's defense, 2 fumble recoveries for a touchdown. And the Giants behind 7 sacks, a big one before by Jason Pierre-Paul. Again, don't forget about the 2 failed 2-point conversion attempts by Jacksonville in this game. And flags come flying. A false start against Josh Wells.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Josh Wells entering this game himself. We've talked about the adjustments that the Giants have had to make on the offensive side of the ball on the line. He came in for Austin Pastore. Here's another young player in a huge pressure situation with Robert Ayers on the other side of the ball.
Bortles on the slant to Marquise Lee, and Lee has the first down.
These quick slants, hitches. You see Blake Bortles, it was enough to look off to the other side to get the safeties to bounce over. Was able to hit Marquise Lee with that quick slant inside, and they're back in the momentum area of it, the up-tempo area of it, and let's see if they're going to continue to move forward and capitalize.
It was a 22-yard completion to Lee. They go back to him. And Marquise Lee up to the 43, gets 6 yards. Remember, Jacksonville still has 2 timeouts remaining, plus the 2-minute warning. Marquise Lee hobbles off the sideline. Now he is down. 2nd and 4. Bortles over the middle. Completes the pass to Cecil Shorts. Another first down.
They're hurrying up to try to get one last play before the 2-minute warning.
It's kept by Bortles on the zone read. Bortles, let's see where they mark him out. They mark him out with enough for the first down. 11-yard run for Blake Bortles. We're at the 2-minute warning. We've got ourselves a ball game, 2-point game, and the Jaguars marching down the field. 2-point lead for the Giants here in the 4th quarter, with Jacksonville marching down the field. 2 timeouts remaining for the Jaguars. All they need is a field goal. Bortles over the middle. He completes the pass to his tight end, Mercedes Lewis. A 5-yard completion. The handoff to Jordan Todman. Todman gets outside. There is a flag on the play.
I think they're going to get Luke Jokel on that one, holding JPP at the point of attack.
Holding. Offense. Number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
That zone stretch bounces outside, and see the hands outside the framework. The feet get beat at the point of attack. They're going to call that every time. And
penalties are big at any point of the game, but right now, when you're trying to keep yourself within field goal range, that now pushes you out of field goal range. And you're down by 2. Ball on the 45, 2nd down, 15. It's kept by Bortles again with a zone read, who cuts it back and has the first down. Into field goal range at the 25, a 20-yard run by Bortles.
Same thing happened to JPP earlier, the over-pursuit at the line of scrimmage. When you have a rushing quarterback like that, you have got to maintain your position and force everything inside out.
That has changed this game today with Denard Robinson in the Wildcat, and all of a sudden Blake Bortles doing it at the quarterback position. That zone read, they've gone for some big runs under a minute. Hearns in motion. Hand off to Gerhardt. And now a timeout is taken by New York. Last week, the Giants against the Cowboys, it's almost like deja vu all over again. They were leading They had a chance to make a stop in the 2-minute drill. They couldn't. Dallas won the game. Now all of a sudden, you've got Jacksonville here in field goal range.
It's just discipline right here. You know, you had the same play run before with the play action boot where Blake Bortles kept it to the outside. JPP didn't keep the contain. Ran the same play 2 plays later, and they're able to get a huge gain. Right now, they have got to step up and either create a turnover or a big play to get some yards pushed back so that Scobie doesn't just have an easy chip shot.
Hand off to Gerhardt up the middle again. And a timeout is taken once again by Tom Coughlin and the Giants. During the last break, Josh Scobie came out onto the fields and was checking the winds, kind of like Mark Jackson when he used to shoot free throws. Scobie in this game has connected from 28 yards. His season long is 49. His career long is 59. It would be a 39-yard field goal attempt from right here.
Down. Green. Green shot.
Gerhardt hit in the backfield for a loss. Mark Herzlich with the tackle, a loss of 4. And the final timeout is taken by the Giants.
The New York Giants line up in a bear defense. 3 guys covering the center and both guards. Allows Mark Herzlich to run right through, get that penetration and the tackle for a loss. Let's see what the Giants do here, how they line up on this field goal to block it.
It will be a 43-yard field goal attempt. Remember, Josh Brown missed in this same direction from 43 yards earlier for the Giants. He missed it wide right.
Scobie's got a big leg, but anytime you get to the 40-yard line or back, you've got to be concerned because you've got to drive the ball, and sometimes it comes out low. And when you've got tall guys like JPP and DeMontre Moore, they're going to try getting their hands up right in that lane of where the ball flies.
Carson Tinker, the long snapper. Brian Anger, the holder. Scobie from 43. Drills it. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who have 1 win on the season, lead by 1 with 28 seconds to go here in the ballgame. No problem for Josh Scobie.
Drilled that one right down the middle. You know, Gus Bradley and this Jaguars team are excited about where they are right now to fight through the adversity they had in the first half, to come back, play disciplined, sound football in the second half, to create the turnovers in the defensive side of the ball. But I think the biggest thing is the offense rallied around them and were able to produce points.
The Jaguars 1-10 on the season. Their lone win October 19th against Cleveland when they won 24-6. Gus Bradley has talked about his team. We heard from Laura before how much they stay together. Both teams talk about how they have stuck together. But now, the Jaguars, who trailed by 21 points in the first half, lead by 1. This will be their largest comeback win in franchise history. The Giants will have the ball at the 20. No timeouts remaining with 28 seconds to go. The difference right now in this game for the Giants is the only miss for Josh Brown on the season. He was a perfect 10 for 10, and he missed from 43 yards out. Could not bend it in. Manning gets set. Loses the ball. Was he down or not? It's recovered by Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Jaguars defense once again comes up big. A sack and a fumble against Eli Manning.
They had that one timed up. You looked at that side of the line. Dallas Reynolds and John Jerry both out of position. They ran a TE between the two most disruptive players on the Jaguars defensive line. Some Derek Marks and Chris Clemens. They're able to go right through the right side of that offensive line and come up with a huge sack.
Some Derek Marks with the sack and the forced fumble. Chris Clemens with the recovery. They're going to review this play to make sure. 20 seconds to go. If it is, in fact, a sack and a fumble recovered by Jacksonville, then the Jaguars will have their second win of the season. This play is under review. Let's bring in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles. Mike, what do you see on this play?
Well, two things here. Number one, the ball's loose before he gets to the ground, so that aspect would leave it as a fumble. And then secondly, the old tuck rule, which we had in Cleveland today. There's some controversy there. Eli's going to bring the ball back toward his body, back down, then it's knocked out. That might have been an incomplete pass in the olden days, but not today.
Is confirmed. It was a fumble recovered by Jacksonville. First down.
Well, there you have it. Jacksonville will win this game, pick up their second win of the season. And the story of this second half, without a doubt, has been the defense of the Jaguars.
Jaguars defense in the second half, 3 takeaways, 4 sacks, 2 touchdowns, and they've only allowed 3 points.
An amazing turnaround by the Jaguars, a team that came in 1-10. The New York Giants on the other end have now lost 7 in a row. And Tom Coughlin, who began his career as a head coach here in Jacksonville, his future is in question right now for the Giants. The largest comeback win in team history for the Jaguars. They were down 21-0 in the first half, and they win it 25-4. We'll be back with more from Jacksonville after this.